Hi guys, my name is Kennedy Fine. I'm a pop indie artist from Oklahoma City. Y'all can go stream my brand new song Sabotage, available on all streaming platforms, and you're listening to Hank Jr. on Hank's Corner.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Hank's Corner. You know who I am. I'm Hank Jr., part of Hank Jr. Productions, where I'm documenting life's moments through photography, videography, and, of course, podcasting. And thank you, no matter how you tune in, whether it's through Spotify or YouTube, or especially to my friends out there on Down the Road Radio. Thank you for tuning in, and we got a great show here. This is a new artist, or a newer artist to me. You may have seen her on one of my new Music Friday posts. I'm very happy to have her on. I think she's a very young talent that's going places. Please welcome to Hank's Corner, Kennedy Fine. Kennedy, how are you doing today?
I'm so good. I'm so honored to be here.
Thanks for coming into my little corner. Those that follow me know that it's somewhere in the Tampa Bay area, but where are you calling in from?
I am right here, born and raised in Oklahoma City.
So you are back home then. You're not in Nashville. You're back in Oklahoma City.
Yes, but I'm leaving for Nashville again in 4 days, so it's been a crazy month.
So how is that travel for you? Because I know it's about a 10-hour, kind of nonstop drive from here. How's it from Oklahoma City?
About the same. It's about 10, 11 hours. I don't mind it as long as we can stop at the Bass Pro Pyramid in Memphis, and I'm all happy. So I don't mind the drive.
I hear that. And, I've had a couple of people on my podcast from the Oklahoma area, including Ali Colleen. I don't know if you've ever ran into her out in the neck of the woods.
Okay, I've heard the name. I want to reach out to her now. That's so cool.
Yeah, well, a little secret. She has a very famous father that we don't normally talk about because she's trying to make it on her own, and I'm glad that she is because it just shows how great of an artist she is, and she's doing really well. But you may run into her going between Oklahoma and Nashville. But tell me a little bit about compare and contrast Oklahoma versus Nashville. What do you like about both, and what don't you like about the other?
Oh, wow. Well, I'm a big city girl. I thrive in like a busy environment. And so as far as that goes, Nashville definitely wins for me. Very different culture, very on the go. I think everyone here is more laid back. But I love Nashville because the first time I went, I was 14, and I was shocked because I had no shows booked, but there's always an opportunity to play. So I would just, walk in an open mic night with my guitar, and everyone's so nice. And so just the opportunities there for artists of all genres is amazing. And Oklahoma's music scene is really just now starting to grow in the past, honestly, year. So I think that we're turning into more of that city. But if you want to go and network and meet people in all genres, Nashville's definitely the place.
Interesting. Now, those that do know me know that I am Texan, born and raised, and lived most of my life there. And I would never have guessed that up there in Oklahoma, specifically Oklahoma City, that the music industry is kind of, like you said, starting. Maybe it's restarting, but starting anew. I would never have guessed that.
Yeah, because I think, at least for artists like me, because Oklahoma's always been very country focused, which makes sense because you got Reba and Blake and Carrie, they're all from here. So there's a lot of honky tonk places to play here as far as country, but we're just now starting to expand to all genres. And I actually just booked a show today at a brand new music video venue. There you go. That's just now opening up. So it just goes to show you, there's so many new places that are popping up.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I don't think that I've ever stopped in Oklahoma, to be honest with you. I've done a couple cross country trips where I may have driven through, and I just haven't done that. It hasn't lined up, but one of these days I'll definitely do that to see what it's like. But enough about the geography, because I definitely brought you on, and we're going to talk about your most recent song, Sabotage, and specifically about this too, because as a photographer, as a videographer, I've watched some of the stuff that you put out on social media to help promote this, and it looks like you've had a ball promoting this. So I want to know, first of all, I want you to plug your photographer and our videographer and tell me about your song Sabotage.
Oh my God, she's gonna be so happy. My photographer and videographer is literally my best friend. Her name is Isabella Blevins, and so if you're like in the OKC area, literally hire her. I cannot speak highly enough, and I've known her since I was 12. So it's been a really special process getting to incorporate her within my music. But the process for social media videos is just so fun. I'll come up with an idea and she will do anything to make it happen. And so for the majority of the content, me and a few of my girlfriends, we went and rented an Airbnb and just stayed there for the weekend and just brought all of our equipment and outfits. And that was the content process. It was amazing. So fun.
Yeah. And a very big knife.
Yeah. Yes, that was Airbnb property. And so we were like, we need to be very careful with this because yeah, I'll put our name on this property. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely looks like you had a fun time doing that, and good for that. Promoting, and and that's always a special thing. With working with a photographer, videographer, I found that the longer you've known them, the longer you've worked with them, it just seems that it's just like any other relationship. You start to click, and your ideas start to mesh, and it's just a wonderful process. And of course, as one, I'd always like to promote them. So thanks for doing that. But tell me a little bit about the song itself.
Oh my goodness, the song was so much fun to write. I wrote it in 2023, so it's kind of crazy that it's just not coming out. But I wrote it in Nashville with Kyle Reynolds and Kalian Lowe. And going into that write, I had a list of song titles because that's how we like to write, is based off of just that list of song titles. And Kyle was like, I think a really cool hook would be "It's more fun to sabotage," so we should pick this one to write from. He laid down a track, and then we honestly wrote it in probably about an hour and a half. It didn't take. We just had so much fun. Funniest part about it all is I don't think I've ever dumped someone before, even though that's literally what the song's about. But you heard it here first. But it was just like a really fun, I guess, exercise to kind of tap into character writing. It really made me realize that I don't have to always write about my own experiences. It can be really fun to see things from different perspectives. And so that song's really special to me in that way, because it was the very first time I'd ever done that.
Yeah, great to channel that in. Like you said, you didn't have the experience of doing that, but you definitely did a great job. I like I said, I really love watching those video clips, and let's go ahead and play "Sabotage" here on Hank's Corner.
What's your name? I don't care. Either way, smoke's rising in the air. Sorry in advance for what I'm gonna do. It's just who I am from what I've been through. I'm done playing nice, done saying please. The one that I love is me, 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 me. It's more fun to sabotage. Breaking hearts goes down like medicine to me. Twisted remedy, I get what I want. The passenger comes taken to the driver's seat. So on the counter, 1, 2, 3, watch me sabotage. Innocent eyes, not too fast. You're thinking about the future while I'm thinking about the crash. Picket fence, perfect 10. God, that's really boring. And the moral of the story is I'm done playing nice, done saying please. The one that I love is me. It's more fun to sabotage. Breaking hearts goes down like medicine to me. Twisted remedy, I get what I want. The passenger comes taken to the driver's seat. So on the counter, 1, 2, 3, watch me sabotage. Tragedy, I'll take the fall and do it happily, happily. I understand if you get mad at me, in my masterpiece. But it's more fun to sabotage. Breaking hearts goes down like medicine to me. Twisted remedy, I get what I want. watch me sabotage.
Welcome back to Hank's Corner. You just heard Kennedy Fine, and that was her most recent song, Sabotage, which is doing pretty well. And, you said that was a character for you, but, how hard did you really have to tap into it? Did it kind of come a little naturally? Be honest.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, yes, because I just wrote down everything that was like, man, I wish 17-year-old Kennedy had done that instead. So it was like everything I'd ever imagined, knife included. Yes, so not too difficult.
Yeah, everything's safe on here. We can deny it later that this was all theatric. So you're free to say whatever you want to say, knife included and all. But that's what we like to do about the second section here, because my tagline, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, is documenting life's moments, and that includes getting to know about my artists that I have on here. And so this will be your opportunity to tell the Kennedy Fine story. But before we do that, I always like to start off the segment with a little bit of two truths and a lie. So that way I gotta, kind of listen to your story, kind of figure it out and see if I can guess, what's the truth and what's the lie. So if you're interested in playing, I'm sure you know how this goes. You're going to give me 3 statements, 2 of them being true, 1 of them being false, in any order. And at the end of the podcast, I'm going to have to try to guess which is which.
Okay, I'm so down. All right. So number 1, I'm terrified of birds. Like terrified because of a peacock attack when I was 2. Number 2, I have built over 70 Lego sets, and not just the small ones, like 1,000 to 6,000 piece ones. And number 3, I have visited 15 countries.
All right, so I need to find out whether or not you're terrified of birds because of a peacock incident. That you built over 70 Lego sets, and we're talking the big ones, not the the small little ones that you would do for the younger kids. You're really getting into it, is what you might be saying. And you visited 15 countries. So I don't know. This is definitely an interesting thing because. Kind of in a way, if I may say, I kind of want all 3 of them to be true. and so we'll have to figure that out. But, we'll try to tailor the questions to where I don't just blatantly give it away throughout the show, because I know a lot of people love playing along at home. But tell me, how did you get from, practicing and doing whatever it was, their first exposure to music there in Oklahoma City, to say, hey, you know what, I want to head to Nashville? How does that go for you?
It was honestly crazy because my first love when I was a kid was acting. And I thought that my path was going to be to move to LA, get an agent, and that's what I was going to do. But I went to Nashville for the very first time when I was 14, and I went to NSAI songwriting camp. Absolutely fell in love with it. And I'd always been musical. I'd always loved to play piano and write and sing. And I just realized that I felt more of a belonging in the music community. And so as soon as I went home, I tried to start booking gigs. And then to my misfortune, the pandemic happened. So obviously no live music. And I started back again when I was 17. And ever since then, just being able to get on stage has solidified my decision of this is what I feel like I'm meant to do. This is what I love more than anything. And so, ever since then, I've just been fully Nashville focused, and I've not only fallen in love with music, but the writing process.
Yeah, and does it have anything to do with singing is usually done in front of a live audience? Is that what makes the difference? Then maybe sometimes, obviously you can act in front of a live audience, but a lot of it may be done in front of a camera. Is that one of the reasons?
I would say so. Like, I love people and I'm very extroverted, and I need that like human connection in order to thrive. And so it's definitely been something that's added so much joy to my life.
Yeah, and as far as, get inspired to do music, who were some of your influences and who did inspire you, as you're growing up, that say, wow, that's, that particular person's amazing. I would love to be like him or her out there.
So I'm going to say the obvious first. I'm going to say Taylor Swift.
She's influenced a lot of people. Yes.
Yes, love her. But so it's so funny. When I was little, I was a nerd. Okay. I only listened to 50s music, like subjectively.
Nothing wrong with that.
Right. So my first loves were like Bobby Darin, Johnny Cash, Elvis, because my grandparents love music and I was over at their house all the time. And so because of that, I think I've always really appreciated songwriting itself on a deeper level versus just like the beat and the pop production. And then now that I'm older, I love indie. I love Adrienne Lenker, Phoebe Bridgers, Lana, even Sabrina Carpenter recently. But as far as like in my personal life, my dad loves music, and we've always bonded over music. Like I think collectively our favorites are probably like Bon Iver at the moment, The National, and so I have wonderful support from my parents who've always believed in me too, and have like introduced me to all these different genres and pushed me to do what I love.
Yeah, and that's interesting that you said it in that way, that that bonding component to it, because we've talked about on the show quite a bit how sometimes music can be therapy, or it can get you through certain things, or it helps people just kind of get away from the real world sometimes. But it does bring people together, and it's just something powerful that comes with music. And that is one of the things that we really haven't talked about, is how you do bond. Because if you think about it, you talk about you and your dad, same thing for me. I remember going to concerts with my dad, of course, when I had to have him drive me. And we would go to places like, Alan Jackson, Reba McEntire, some of the country greats. And then even on the pop side, we would do that. And those are very fond memories that I do have. So great point there. But I do want to ask, because I do see over on the side of the corner there, you have like a guitar. Are you going to give a little treat to the fans watching?
Oh yeah. I'm ready.
Put me away, cover me with a sheet. Yeah, we're over, but it's not new to me. I've been lonely in your attic. This time for good, it was already a habit. Montage of I love yous playing my mind. If I get tears, things change, I don't know why. I never thought we'd be haunted. I fear memories and you got what you wanted. Ooh, now I'm gone, is it harder to ignore me? Ooh, is it stormy? Longer you were around, less myself I became. Parts of me died. I was just a whisper of my name. I was your second thought, but I loved you the most. You never saw me, but I've always been a ghost. Listening to music isn't like it was. The lyrics make apparitions of us. Thanks for ruining my favorite songs. I'm embarrassed cause I had a feeling all along. You didn't treat me like you knew you should. Have a talk, say change, you never could. I had every good chance to leave, but only my flaws don't fit into your fantasy. Ooh, now I'm gone, is it harder to ignore me? Ooh, is it stormy? Longer you were around, less myself I became. Parts of me died. I was just a whisper of my name. I was your second thought, but I loved you the most. You never saw me, but I've always been a ghost. I've always been a ghost. Ooh.
I won't be there to see it, but when you think of me, I'll be there in spirit. Oh, I'll be there in spirit. Oh. Longer you were around, less myself I became. Parts of me died. I was just a whisper of my name. I was your second thought, but I loved you the most. You never softened me, but I've always been a ghost. I'll always be your ghost.
And that was Kennedy Fine playing her unreleased song Ghost. And just out of curiosity, do we have a roundabout date when we may expect to hear that release?
So I think it might be my next one. Don't know for sure, but if so, probably like the next 3 months-ish.
Okay. And honestly, I can't wait till it comes out. I definitely want to hear it. But also in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, wouldn't this be great to be released around the Halloween time? I know people have done that. So, definitely looking forward no matter which way it comes out. That's definitely a great song. And I love the way you sing that.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And so you've talked offline a little bit before we got on about that you have a lot of songs kind of in the works. About approximately how many songs do you have in the pipeline? And is it something that just keeps, growing and growing, or do you kind of focus on what you have?
No, it keeps growing and growing. I have like so many songs that I've written that I think will never see the light of day. But as far as the ones that will, I'd say I have about a good 20 to 25 songs-ish that I'm looking to release.
All right. And yeah, there's plenty of songs that people write and they talk about they're not going to put it out. And sometimes it's their first song that they ever written. Do you remember the first song that you have written?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I was like, as far as the first real song, I was 12 and it was called Whirling Storm. And there was a line that was like, there's a river inside me, wide and deep, and it's raging very fierce, full of memories that I keep. And looking back, I'm like, girl, like you were 12. Like, can we talk about what memories you were talking about? 'Cause I don't know. I was trying to be very existential. First song I've written that I was proud of, I still sing out. It's called Fake Flowers, and I wrote it when I was 16.
Okay. And that first song, yeah, definitely sounds a little intense there. And sometimes I always like to ask this question to songwriters. Doesn't matter which genre, but is there any particular song or songwriter that had a line out there in a song that you're like, man, I wish I had come up with that?
Yeah. Wait, can the viewers, can they see my phone? Like, can they see the video?
Oh yeah, we can see that. Yes.
Okay. So this is my lock screen. It's a Taylor Swift lyric. It says, I'm still a believer, but I don't know why. I've never been a natural. All I do is try, try, try.
Okay.
And that's like my favorite probably lyric of all time.
Wow, and that was a good, I didn't know that ahead of time. So, you had that there as a lyric and sometimes people will come up with something, but you have that actually as your, on your screen. So you see that every time, kind of like a little bit of a motivational thing.
For sure. It's like happy because it's my favorite line of all time. And it's like, man, why did I not write that? So it's definitely a motivator.
Yeah, and since we're on the topic of Taylor Swift, one of the things, whether I know she gets love and she gets hate from both sides, and especially now with the whole NFL thing. But if you take Taylor as her core, she has been very successful because she's had her hand from the songwriting to the producing to her publicity, all this different stuff that she's involved in. Are there any parts of the music industry that you're definitely looking forward to getting into? And are there some parts that you're like, I'm staying away from that, I'll hire somebody for that?
Oh my goodness, I would love to get more into producing. I have Logic Pro on my computer, and I've been dabbling in just like creating my own beats. And then I also have a newly formed band, so they're backing me up at some shows now. And I've never really this is probably the wrong word for it, but conducted in a way, because it's like I know what I want it to sound like in my head. So my drummer's name's Zane, and I'll be like, hey, like, can you try this? And just kind of like writing parts to music that aren't just so guitar focused. So I really like seeing how the pieces of that instrumentation has all come together.
Yeah, and is there any part that you would like to stay away from?
Oh my goodness. I mean, honestly, nothing that I can think of. I mean, I definitely don't want to learn, and this sounds probably stupid, I don't want to learn anything about like music law. Like, I'm hiring a lawyer for that. I don't know my rights. You know what I mean? Like, you know what? You take care of that. This is too complicated for me. I just think about all the lawsuits that these singers have been in. They're like, this is why you got to know your stuff. I'm like, nope, this is why I'm going to hire someone who knows their stuff.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And hopefully you can find somebody that you really trust. Because I've seen, one too many movies, and I know sometimes they change it for theatrics, but I've seen where people have trust other people and ended up, losing a bunch of money. So hopefully you'll find that good. But I agree with that because, law can be very difficult, tedious, and I don't blame you for that one. So I'm going to go ahead and try to figure out the two truths and a lie now. So we're going to back up and look at the questions again. So you told us that you are terrified of birds because of a peacock incident that you had when you were little. You've built over 70 Lego sets, the large kind, and you've been to 15 countries. And, the 15 countries things is definitely a lot. And I kind of really wish that is true because, man, getting to see the world. I've only been to a few myself, and once you have kids, it becomes a little harder. So definitely get out there and see much of the world as you can. But out of these three, I'm going to say that the 15 countries is not the truth; that it is the lie.
Yeah, you're correct. I have a musician salary, so that's definitely the lie.
Well, sometimes, when you're first starting out, you have your parents supporting you. That could be the case. But, how many countries have you been to?
Oh, God, I think only like 2. But I spontaneously planned a cruise trip to Mexico with my friend like 45 minutes ago. So I got that to look forward to.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I love me a little Mexico, and plenty of songs that, talk about Mexico that I love as well. But, I'm definitely curious about this little peacock incident.
Oh, yeah. It was the Colorado Zoo, and in the food court, they let the peacocks like roam free. And someone was like, oh, you should try to feed it. And my, smart 2-year-old self just put the little goldfish right next to me, which caused the peacock to just like charge. And I fell off this wall, scraped my knee, ran around the whole food court, and it wouldn't let up. Like, it kept chasing me. Like, it did not go away. And then like a few years later, I was at the Oklahoma City Zoo, and I got chased by an ostrich. And I'm like, they hate me. The birds about me, they can sense my fear, and they've all told each other about me, and they don't, I'm terrified of birds. They know who I am.
All right. So, if you want to be nice to Kennedy, please don't bring any birds around, but that would definitely be a cruel joke to have somebody tease you. So now it's out there. So hopefully, people aren't too cruel with you. And then you talked about building the Lego sets. And, what's kind of interesting is that I've watched a couple of the seasons of the Lego Builders, and specifically the first one. I remember that one specifically because the winners were from Bradenton, Florida, which is about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on traffic, south of where I'm located. And some of the sets that they, do is just amazing. And every season it gets bigger and bigger. So tell me about some of the sets that you did.
Oh my goodness, I've done like the big Hogwarts castle. So I'm a Harry Potter like fanatic. I have a little corner of my house that's just dedicated to Harry Potter. So I got all the Harry Potter ones: Gringotts Bank, Diagon Alley, Hogwarts, like the big Disney castle. I've done some Marvel sets. I think right now, oh my goodness, my other obsession is like Twilight. And I know that objectively they're bad movies, but that's what makes them so good, I love them so much, forcing my friends to watch them. So I'm doing the Twilight Lego house right now. But it's so funny you say that about Lego Masters, because one of the teams who is a finalist in like season 2, turns out she was an Oklahoma City musician. I had no idea when watching the show. I was like, this girl is so cool. Like, I love her style, I love her Legos. And I looked her up, and then I found out that we had so many mutuals. So I DM'd her on Insta, and I was like, hey, like, I saw you in Lego Masters, didn't know you were a musician, but I am too, and we should connect. And so we have this like connected through Instagram, and I was like, oh my God, like I met a celebrity. This is so cool. She knows my name. So yeah.
Well, you need to get her on the podcast as well. We would love to have her, so you could put in a good word for me. But you talk about the Harry Potter and Disney, whatnot. Of course, we're about an hour to an hour and a half away from those theme parks here in Florida, depending on traffic. Once again, I mean, I keep bringing up traffic because you talked about inspiring to be LA. The traffic is getting pretty bad, like it would be out there. But if you ever decide to want to come play in the Tampa area, we got a nice venue called the Tiki Cove that I'm affiliated with. Love to have you there, but also we can make a trip over and see some of that Harry Potter land and have some fun as well.
I'm going to put my plane ticket.
I love that. And so one of the questions that I do like to ask too as well is, we got a little sneak peek of you playing, but should somebody come to see a Kennedy Fine performance, what should they expect?
So like I said, I have my full band now, and I've just had the time of my life playing with them. So they can expect around an hour of all original music. That's about 15 songs, and 13 of those are unreleased. And I like to go on stage and tell sarcasm that goes over most people's heads, and tell jokes that only I find funny. And they can get some of their own Kennedy Fine merch. So it's just like, it's a great time. And I just always encourage people to go and have fun and dance and sing. So that's what a Kennedy Fine show would look like.
Yeah, definitely would love to do that. And, I get so many of those looks when jokes go over their head because I guess officially I'm a dad. So they're all considered dad jokes now. And my kids just kind of look at me like that. So definitely besides the music, I would love to hear that humor. But would you be willing to give, for those who have not been to a Kennedy Fine show yet, another sneak peek of what it sounds like?
Oh, 100%, 100%. All right, this is called Passenger Seat. Older seat shut between the seats of my car. Miles adding up, gas won't get you far. But in the passenger seat, time is frozen. Echoes of people coming and going. Ooh, some I don't talk to. Ooh, some I wanna say I miss you. The boy I thought I'd marry when I was 17. My friend I met in college who went to Tennessee. The girl who had her heart broke same time as I did. We drowned it out with coffee and drives till 2 a.m. Lovers that are lost, friends I can't see. Where will we go when they sat in the passenger seat? In the back there's old trash too lazy to clean. Or maybe it's a sickness that I cannot see. Cause sometimes I feel forgotten behind. They're all plotting different lives in different towns, but these relics stick around. Ooh, some I don't talk to. Ooh, some I wanna say I miss you. The guys who bought dinner, it started with a swipe. They'd hold on to the handles and make fun of how I drive. The girl in San Antonio getting her degree. She'll tell me things to laugh about. No one gets but me. Lovers that are lost, friends I can't see. Where will we go when they sat in the passenger? Overly sentimental, they say my heart is brittle. Over romanticize everything that should be simple. Cause I built a temple around every little moment in time that's no longer mine. Others that are lost, friends I can't see. Where were we going when they sat in the passenger She.
Kennedy Fine, ladies and gentlemen, you heard her here on Hank's Corner, and those were a couple of unreleased songs that we got the treat to hear, and I'm so thankful that you played it for us, Kennedy.
Oh, thank you so much for letting me. I'm so glad that people are getting to hear unreleased music.
Yeah, definitely. And it sounds so good. And, we've talked a little bit about, what you've done so far. Like we said, that, Sabotage is recently out. You're doing really great with that. But what is kind of the rest of 2025? What do you have in mind? And what are some of your plans and goals?
So some goals is I'm really wanting to open up for bigger artists. So I have that in the works. There's just some people I'd be so incredibly honored to get to play with. So that's a huge goal of mine for 2025. I've been traveling to Nashville more than I ever have. I used to go like maybe once every 2 months. Now I'm going around twice a month, so huge change. And then booking more shows. I actually played my very first headlining show, like an official ticketed concert in February, and I just booked about 2 or 3 more of those. And so I'm finally getting to play for audiences that are like there to see me and hear my music. And it's just something I'm so incredibly grateful for, because sometimes, you'll write a song and it's like, oh my goodness, like no one's ever going to hear this. And so just having these opportunities to play shows where people are giving me the gift of showing up and listening means the absolute world to me. It's not something I take for granted. So I'm just so excited to get to play more shows like that in 2025.
Yeah, so please make sure that you follow her at Kennedy Fine Music. It's down below here, and keep following her socials to figure out where she's going to be. You may be able to catch her in Oklahoma City, Nashville, or who knows, we might get her down here to Florida. And one way or another, I'm going to have to come out and see you and get you on the wall back here. But in the meantime, if you ever want to be a guest on Hank's Corner, you're more than welcome to.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you.
Still see the spot where you would park your car. Follow your fingertips tracing a ray, and you caught me on the drive back to your house, but you stopped when you burned ours down with me inside it. If you could promise me forever, then say that it was said by mistake. The stars are broken, who burn the sky, who turn the lights out on you and I was throwing wishes, what a waste of time. You were my world, I was a doubt in your mind. The stars are broken. You used to care enough to bring a bouquet now. Instead of roses, it's just new ultimatums. Used to be proud that it was my hand you held. Now my lips only tell all my friends how much I hate you. You went and promised me forever. How did our constellation